Hello once again, watchers of good TV. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my white room. Now, the Once Upon a Time Season 3 finale was last night, so I will be talking about that shortly. Before I get to that, though, I'm going to talk about Season 3 in its entirety, so if you have not seen all the way through Season 3, probably don't watch this until you complete it, or else you will get major spoilers thrown at you. So, yeah, don't do that. So Season 2 left off with the gang going off to Neverland to find Henry, who has been abducted by these two agents of Peter Pan. It's really interesting how Once Upon a Time took this beloved Disney cartoon character named Peter Pan, and the story of Peter Pan, and made him this evil villain and this devious person. And I really like that about how they went about it. They made Pan interesting, and you are curious about his motives and his relation to Rumplestiltskin, because it's touched on here or there that Rumplestiltskin and Peter Pan have some sort of dark history together, and that is eventually revealed to be because they are father and son. Rumple is the son of Peter Pan, who was his father. And I found that to be just a really interesting thing and twist that they added on to the whole ordeal. We also got the introduction of Ariel in this part of the season. Ariel, obviously from The Little Mermaid, that story. She comes into the picture. She's not really in a whole lot of the season. She's in a few episodes here or there. She gets her own episode in which we see flashbacks of her and Snow White trying to introduce her to Prince Eric and all that type of stuff. We see the evil queen show up as Ursula, and just a play on that type of stuff. That part was kind of neat. I kind of wish we could have seen more of Ariel, or maybe gone to Atlantica, or something of that nature. But who knows, maybe in the future they will do that. We also get to really dive into more of Captain Hook's nature and character, because this is his prime setting, and we also get to see more of Balefire / Neil's background and character, because Hook and Neil spent a lot of time together on this island when Neil was younger, and Captain Hook was kind of the person that he looked up to in the ship they sailed on. Eventually Neil left Hook's side to go to Pan, and then he escaped Pan and went to, our world. And that's kind of where he eventually grew up and learned the ways of thievery and met Emma, and so on and so forth. I'll kind of jump into the end of this bit of Season 3. I don't really remember a whole lot from it because it was so long ago at this point, but the bits that I do remember is what I talked about. The mid-season finale of Season 3 of Once Upon a Time was actually one of the better ones that they did, and it could have very easily been a series finale. We had the big confrontation between Rumpelstiltskin and Peter Pan, and Pan has essentially snuck his way into Storybrooke and has found a way to hide himself. He tries to enact some sort of evil scheme, and he is stopped eventually. Rumpelstiltskin eventually sacrifices himself in order to stop his father, and he does this by plunging his dagger through his father into his own body. And this was something which really surprised me, because Rumpelstiltskin has been known as a coward and has lived his life doing cowardly things, and this act of selflessness that he exhibited was really neat, and it was a very sad moment, especially for Belle, who obviously is in love with Rumple, and we see Rumpelstiltskin die. Towards the end of the mid-season finale, the dark curse is coming. It's going to swallow up the town, and so instead of letting Emma and Henry come with them, Regina gives them a potion which will give them fake memories, essentially, of erase the last year and replace it with memories of Emma and Henry in New York, act like they have been together for however long, and make it seem like Emma never gave up Henry in the first place. So this happens. The whole crew goes back to the Enchanted Forest, and Emma and Henry head to New York. At the end of the mid-season finale, we see Emma and Henry a year later. They're living in an apartment, happy, and then Hook shows up and it says that her family is in trouble. And that's where it leaves off. Then we eventually find out that in the second half of Season 3, the big threat of this half of the season is the Wicked Witch of the West. We go into the Oz mythology, which is actually kind of interesting, but in my opinion, they could have really played with it a lot better than they did. I found the idea of Zelena being this, I guess, misunderstood person. She really just wants whatever Regina has. She wants to be the favored daughter of Korra, and she isn't that, and so she becomes green with envy and thus begins her wickedness. She's gifted with extraordinary magical powers too, and her character is just a really interesting one, especially at the beginning when nobody knows who she is and all their memories of the last year have been erased, and they just find themselves back in Storybrooke. She sneaks herself around in the crowd and gets really close to Snow White. I was really happy that at the beginning of the mid-season premiere, we have Emma regain her memories at the very end of that episode. I was really happy about that. I didn't want to deal with half a season or half a mid-season dealing with Emma not believing Hook or going like, do I believe him? Do I not? Do I drink this? Do I not? She got through it. She did it, and I'm happy for that. Henry did not remember everything right away. It took him about most of this part of the season to really remember anything, and that kind of annoyed me. So the main thing that Zelena is aiming for in this season is to travel back in time in order to change the past so that Regina is out of the picture and Korra never gives up Zelena, and Zelena is the favored person. She gets taught by Rumple and is able to enact the Dark Curse herself and all these things, and basically get the life that Regina has. She's essentially jealous of her sister, and it's just, I don't know. It's okay. I found Zelena's backstory to be kind of interesting in terms of seeing how she became how she is, but I mean, I honestly found this part of the season honestly a little bit boring at times. I thought that the bits where they showed what happened the last year were interesting. Just the storybook parts were a little bit dull in my opinion. We're jumping into the season finale now, so if you have not seen that bit of it, go watch it and then come back and watch this. So obviously I haven't touched on everything in season 3 because I just don't have the time to do that or the desire to do that. So if you want to know any of my thoughts on anything that happened in season 3, comment below or message me somehow, and I would love to discuss it with you. So the season finale was a 2-hour season finale. It was comprised of 2 different episodes which were premiered back to back, and it essentially had the aftermath of Rumple killing Zelena. In my opinion, he was fairly justified in doing this. I think it's really interesting that he has deceived Belle into thinking that he has given her his dagger. That's going to backfire on him very quickly in season 4, I have a feeling. Like in the first 10-15 minutes of the episode, Emma and Hook get drawn into the time portal and they are sent back in time to before Snow and Prince Charming met, and obviously things go awry. Emma changes something which happens in the past. She stops her parents from meeting at all, and this has obvious ramifications. They seek the counsel of Rumplestiltskin, and his interactions with them are actually really interesting in this episode, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And just Emma and Hook's place in this world during this time is also really interesting because they play it so well, and Emma is so meant to be this princess that she never was, and it's very obvious just by how she acts and whatnot, and it's really neat. So I really don't want to dig into this too terribly much because something happened and then it got fixed and then everything is fine again. That's essentially the sum of it, and things just happen in a fairly different way. The one thing that's really significant is the fact that Emma and Hook brought back a woman who was supposed to have died, and it is revealed at the end of the episode that this woman is Robin Hood's previously dead wife. This obviously pisses off Regina quite a bit because these 2 individuals were falling in love with each other, and it was going great for Regina. She found love again, and then the daughter of her adversary, who had previously stopped her from having love, once again stopped her from having love, and she's just gonna be pissed as all hell next season, and there's gonna be a huge grudge happening in there. Other things of, I guess, significant note, Rumple and Belle got married. Okay, I mean, it was going to happen eventually, I suppose. The fact that Rumple still hasn't told Belle that he has the actual dagger, again, I think Belle will try to control him or stop him from doing something, and then obviously it won't work, and she'll be really hurt by that, and Rumple will have to regain her trust or whatever. Snow White and Prince Charming, they named their baby Neil after, obviously, Neil Balefire, who died earlier in this season. That was obviously a significant death. It hurt Rumpelstiltskin immensely, and I think it was a nice tribute to the character and a good way to send him out, kind of. So I'm sure we'll still see Neil in flashbacks and whatnot, but I really hope that they don't just revive him somehow, because that just makes it seem like nobody on this show will ever stay dead, and it's just kind of a cop-out in my opinion. And lastly, Hook reveals to Emma that he traded his ship, the Jolly Roger, for a magic bean, which would get him to New York. And this is when Emma falls for him finally, and they kiss, and it seems like everything's happy. And then it's revealed, obviously, that the woman that Emma brought back is Robin's wife. Things happen. And Regina says, I hope you didn't bring anything else back. And thus, why I have this shirt. It's revealed at the very end of the episode that Emma did end up bringing something back from Rumpel's storage of wares of magic that he couldn't understand or control. And first it was a lamp of some sort that tipped over and started spewing a blue liquid. At first I thought this was going to be Jafar. I thought that they were going to connect the two series that they were going to try to connect originally. I was thinking, oh hey, it's going to be Jafar, because I saw in the IMDb credits that the Knave was credited for this episode, so I thought, oh hey, maybe he's going to come back in some way, or the next area will be Wonderland that they go to. And then the blue liquid shows a blue figure, and so I thought, oh hey, maybe it's the genie from Aladdin, maybe that's where they're going with this. And then she takes off the glove, spews out her ice powers, and it's very quickly revealed that this is Elsa from Frozen. And so the next place that we are going to is Arendelle. So likely we will meet Anna, Kristoff, Sven, Hans, just all these central characters to this movie. And I will be really interested to see how they portray Elsa. I would really like it if they did not portray her as a villain. I really don't want to see that happen, just because of how this character has been seen and just the popularity of the character itself as a hero. I would really like to have her recruit this band of people to come and help Arendelle because it's in trouble because of some war or some attack or something. I would really like to see her on the good side of things and not have to see her get killed by somebody, likely Emma or someone, because she decides that she wants to use her powers for evil for some reason, because that doesn't really fit with the movie. I do understand that the creators are kind of bouncing off the success of Frozen. I honestly didn't expect this until at the very earliest season 5, so the fact that they decided to throw this together, just bouncing off the success of it, I don't know if they had originally planned for this ahead of time. I don't know where they were originally planning to go with the next season, but I mean, I'm excited for it. Obviously, I have the shirt. We'll just see what happens. It could be a flop, it could be great. We'll just see how it goes. That is my review of Once Upon a Time Season 3. Leave your thoughts on it down in the comments down below, and I would love to hear them. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. Make sure to go buy my short story called The Bridge. Link is in the description down here below, and I would love you for that. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.